Good morning. Today we will start with a new chapter, chapter 3, and we're going to start with lesson 2, which talking about place value of decimals. We know that what are the decimals? We're going to talk about the place value of the decimals. Now, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to read the decimals through the thousands, write the decimals through the thousands, and represent it through the thousands. So in this lesson, we're gonna learn how can we read, write, and represent the decimals if we are under the thousands place. Now, how do you say the decimals? The decimals mean that I'm talking about numbers less than 1. The numbers are two types. We have whole number and we have decimals number. Whole number like 1, 2, 3, 4. Decimal numbers like 0.2, 0.003. This one, we call them decimal numbers. So here, if you see number 4, this is whole. But if you see 0.4, this is decimal. If you see 13 as an example, this is whole. But if you see 0.001 and 3 and there's a point, it's mean this is a decimal. So now a decimal is a number that is less than 4. And you say that 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now less than 0, which is it is between 0 and 1, we call them decimal numbers. Between 1 and 2, we call them decimal numbers. Exactly, the numbers are whole. Between them, we call them decimal. Now the decimal, how can I know the decimal? It must have a decimal point. If you see a number with a decimal point, this means it is a decimal number. So the thing that tell you that you are talking about decimal number if you have a decimal point. Did you remember now what are the decimals? Yes. Okay. Now, how can I read the decimals? Or how can I say the decimals? First of all, as you see here, we have this table, which we call it place value chart. The place value chart has one's place. It means the number that is, here we have decimal point. The number after the decimal point, it is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, millions. That we talk about them in chapter 1. Now the number that are all the numbers that they are to the right of the decimal point, they are tenths place, hundredths place, and thousands place. We call them tenths, hundredths, and thousands. Now, how can you read it? And do you remember before that, if you say 4,310, or 321, how you read it? You say it 4,321. But if you have a decimal point, you have to put word and. What do I mean? Like this one, I say 5 and then this is number. How can I read it? I say 312. So I say 312. And where did I stop? I stop at thousands. So I will say 5 and 312 thousands. So first, you have to read the numbers as normal. The first one here, say it's 4, it's 5 as you want. The decimal point, say and then go to the numbers to the right of the decimal point. Read them as normal. Say, okay, 312, 21, 72, as you want. But you must write, where did I stop? I stop at, the last digit, stop at thousands place. So you must write word thousands. I stop at hundreds, you must write hundreds word. Do you have any question? Okay. Now next. I didn't start starting from the book, just an explanation. Now, so as I told you now, to the numbers to the right of the decimal point, we call them tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Now, what do I mean by tenth? Tenth means it is, I have one and I shade 1 from the 10. So I say 1/10 from the whole. If I shade 1 from the 10, I say tenth. If I have 100 square and I shade one from them, I say hundredths. And if I have 1,000 squares and I shade one of them, I say thousandth, or 1/1000. So tenth, it's 1/10, hundredth, it's 1/100, and thousand, it's 1/1000. This way here, how can I write it as fraction? Now, how can I write it as decimals? How can I say that 1/10 is 0.1, and 1/100 is 0.01, and 1/1000 is 0.001? The way is, if you have like 1/10 or 1/100 and 1/1000, just you have to put decimal point, and how many zero here we have? 1 0. So keep right 1 digit, 2 zeros, 2 digits, 3 zeros, 3 digits. Then start from the right. Take number 1 and put it here. Take number 1 and here and here. And then the empty digits, write zeros on them. So here you have 0.1, here you have 0.01, and here you have 0.001, or read it as 1,000. Is it clear? Okay, now, so all of you, please, I want you to open your book, page 157. Page 157. Let's start now this problem here. Now, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel in New York City is 1.726,000 miles long. So its long is 1.726. It is the longest underwater tunnel for vehicles in the United States. To understand this distance, you need to understand the place value of the digits. So they told you that in order to understand the distance, you need to understand the place value. How can I understand the place value of the digits? By put the numbers in the place value chart. Yeah. So here now, so in order to understand 1 and 726, you need to put it under the place value chart. What do I mean, the place value chart? I have to draw it like this. Here we have now. Here we have an ones, decimal point. Then I started like 1/10, so we call it tenths. 1/100, hundredths, and 1/1000, thousandths. This is the place value chart of the decimals. Then next, I need now to put the number or represent the number in the place value chart. So 1.7, 2, and 6. I will have this. Yes. Sorry? لا مش it's written. So here, is this one? It's written. This one, it's not written. Yeah, I draw it. No need, no. So here I have 1 and 7 to a 6. So this one, 1, it's mean 1. 7/10, how can I say 7/10? It's mean 7 times 1/10, because I said 7/10. It's 7 and 1/10. And 200ths, it's 2 times 1/100, because I say 200ths. So its value is 2 times 100. And 6,000ths, its value is 6 times 1/1000. Then, how can I write in decimals? Instead of writing 1 times 1, we said 1. 7 times 1/10, as I told you, you have to say it is. Here we have only 10. So we say decimal point with 1 digit. 100 decimal point with 2 digits. 1000 decimal point with 3 digits. Then I have 7, so I will start writing from the right. Then the empty digits, I have to add 0. So now I can present the value of the numbers by say 7/10 or 7 times 1/10 or 0.7. And the decimals, as we have in the whole numbers, as we have standard form, as we have expanded form, as we have word form, we have them in the decimals. Like here, this standard form, it is 1 and a 1.726. That's okay. So I will repeat word and its mean dot decimal point. Now, number 1. Here what do we have? 3 and 524 thousandths. How can I write now the value here? The first one, it's 3 times 1. The second one, it's 5 times what? Yes, Isra. 5/10. It's 5 times. Isra. Five tenths. How you write it? 5 times what? 1/10. It's tenths, not 10. Tenths. Thank you. 200ths, it's 2 times 1/100. 4 thousandths. Dina, how you write 4 thousandths? It's 4 times what? 4 thousandths. Over what? 1000. Bravo. Thank you. The next, 3 times 1 is 3. Here we can say it's 0.5. Now 2 times 100. How can I write it? Hunada. 2 times 100. How many zeros for the 100? 2. Then you have to write 2 from the right, then 1 0. Bravo, thank you. Now 4 times 1 over 1000. Jilan. Here, 4 times 1 over 1000. It's 0. How many digits? 3 digits. أيوة, bravo. Then when you have to write 4, starting from the right, then here what you have to put? 0. So it's 0.004. Thank you. Now, the next one here. Number 2. Write the value of the underlying digits. Yes, Sarah. Here, look at the first one. 0.543. Let's write it. 0.543. What's the value of the underlying digits? Four times 1 over 100. Or you can say what? 4 hundredths. Thank you. What's your name? Isra, you answered. Now, Jumana. 6 point. Yes. The table, no, it's not in the book. But the 2, 3, and 4, yes. Number 3 now. Yes, Jumana. 6.223. 6 and 223. What's the value of 2? Jumana. Yes, Mona. 6.2. What's the value of 2? It's 2 times what? 1 over 10. Or you can say it's 2 what? Tenths. Thank you. Now, number 4. Haneen. Yes, Haneen. Here, 3.954. 3 and 954. What's the value of 4? 4 thousandths. Bravo. Or 4 times what? 4 times what? 1 over 1,000. If you say thousandths, it's mean 1 over 1,000. Okay, thank you, Haneen. Now, Hala Bashar. Yes. Number 2. Okay, here what do we have? 0.543. Look at here. I will remove this now. What is the value of 4? Where's number 4? It's under the hundredths. It's live in the hundredths home. So I will say 4 hundredths. Okay. The next, هلا 400 it's mean 4 times 1 over 100. Tenths 1 over 10. Look at the first letters here. 100 it's mean 1 over 100. 10 it's mean 1 over 10. Thousands it's mean 1 over 1000. That's it. Okay, now here. Miss, the table is not written. I keep it. Okay, the table I draw it for you, but it's not in your book. Yes. Yeah. Now here. By the way, now these two tables are not written. It's only you have the lines. You have to write on the lines. Okay. Now number 5. Who can tell me? You have to write quickly, please. I will. That's it. Hurry up, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, number 5. حلا بشار. حلا. Okay. And the lines. This is I draw them for you, but you have to write on the lines. طيب, it's okay. حلا is not here. حورية. Miss, they asked you write them in 2 other forms. If I have the standard form, what are the other 2 forms? Word and expanded. You have lines. In the first line, write word form. In the second line, write expanded form. حورية. حورية. رغد. زين. زين. Sarah. Yes, Sarah. Did you answer today? Oh, sorry. Lana. Yes, Lana. Point number 5. How can you write the number? Number 5. 200. 200, yes. 200 what? 53. Thank you. 253. And where did you stop? Tenths, hundredths, thousands. So what you have to say now? Thousands. Bravo. Now, can you write the expanded form? I will remind you now. This is here. Tenths, hundredths, and thousands. So here we have point 253. So you say 253,000. Now what are the expanded form? 2 point what? 2 times 2/10. So 2 times 1 over what? 1 over 10. 2/10 plus 5 times what? 500. So it's mean 5 times what? 500. It's 5 times what? 1 over 100. Bravo. Plus 3 times what? 1,000. Bravo. That's it. Now next time you will continue 6 and 30 because the period was finished.